This is what we call the paintball course. We've got to the north of us, the woods will start up again, go down to the apple orchard, which has the clover field and the chicory between the apples and the woods. You can see I'm right on the ridge here, and this goes on down. Looking out on across the paintball course, you have this, and this is where the thicket starts. And right up here, it gets real thick. You can't even hardly walk through it. You can't see very far in it. This is the keep out zone. You'll see at the top of this, this is our oak grove. It gets real thick up on this ridge with oaks. So these oaks go all the way around this thicket that's in the middle here. And of course we come down the backside of this ridge here. On both sides of this we have fields. We have a pond on the northwest side. We got a pond on the southeast side with corn and beans on both sides of that. Plenty of tall grass like this in a couple of different fields and around the ponds. So that gives you a little idea of the layout of our land. Over there where the oaks start, the west side of this thicket, is a fence line that goes up through there. We have one trail along that fence line. We have 3 deer stands down that trail that are within 20 to 30 yards. So you walk down that trail, you go right into your ladder stand or your self-climber. You do not disturb the middle of the hardwoods, and again, you stay away from the thicket. Through the brush here, you can see one of our fields down here. Big old hay field. And our corn and beans are just on the other side of this. We have another ridge with woods there, and of course at the end of this is one of our ponds. Go over to the north here and the west. We go down this, and you can see down there we have a field down there, same thing. Beans or corn on the other side of that with another pond right down there. Now to give you an idea of how thick our thicket is, I get down from the deer stand here, I'll approach our thicket and do some videotaping. I do not want to go in it. It is our archery season. We got 2 weeks here left in October, so another week the mature bucks will start to scrape, and we just do not want to go into our keep out zone, disturb it at all. Alright, here's what our thicket looks like. This is one of the trails here that goes into the thicket here. There's multiple of these trails. You can see there's a lot of this thorn here. And there's some buckthorn, sumac. But you're not going to walk through this stuff. This is really thick. If you get anything here, you're crawling through it. Or you're sticking to the deer trails. There's some pine in here. So those are the things you want to cut. You clear cut your area. And our area here is a radius of about 40 yards. So you're going to clear cut it. Bring in some sumac, some thorn, some buckthorn, some pine. Just let this stuff grow in and stay out of it. 2 weeks away from the mature buck starting to scrape, and they'll be running in and out of this stuff looking for does. Now this stand here is on our east side of our hunting land. You can see here the field out here. We walk the field edge line, we come in 10 yards, just getting through the brush between the field and the woods, and get into our stand. At the top of this ridge is our keep out zone. So we don't go up there, we stay out of that. A couple of our shooting lanes here. You can see our water hole down here. We have grass planted around that. It's 4 to 5 feet tall, so it makes good cover. And then you'll get other things to grow into that, like briars and stuff. But you will want to keep that mold every couple of years so it doesn't get filled with a bunch of sumac and thorn and stuff, and keep it a nice bedding area as they're getting water. This is a view out of my stand. Here's the field edge right here. And we get into the woods here. And again, you get up to the top of this ridge up here, and that's our keep out zone. So we hunt around that. On the west side, we have our oak grove. So that gives you a good idea of how we set up our land. And again, you get to the basics. You want to look at the food source, the water source, the bedding, and the thicket. And if you don't have enough land to do that, then again, state of the basics, what can you provide? How do you get a corridor to come to your land? If you don't have enough land for crops, focus on the water in the bedding. On a third of an acre, you can have a huge apple orchard, and you can have a food plot on there. Then you want to develop your thickness with pines, for example, to get a corridor for those deer to come in and out of in a thick area that you can reserve, that they feel safe in. So I hope this helps you get an idea of what you can do to improve your hunting land to bring in those mature bucks.